Everyone, we've been infiltrated. Well, that's according to a report that appeared in the Sunday Times Ireland edition. Now, they claim in this report that there was a member of the Oireachtas has been infiltrated by a hostile intelligence service, that is, Russia, according to them. And they said there's no evidence of payments into this member's bank account, and he met with a member of the Russian embassy who was a counsellor in the Russian embassy a number of years ago. And they also said he was caught in a honey trap. That's with, obviously, a woman that was in a compromising position. Is this how it got the smattering of the Profumo affair, perhaps? So let's delve a little deeper into what was stated around this. Make your own mind up on what is being pushed out through this article. They said that through the honey trap, he was personally compromised, or his information was internet history and searches were intercepted during travels abroad. And as well, they said he has no crime committed. Now, make up your own mind of this story. This has been pushed by the Sunday Times Ireland edition. Now, who owns the Sunday Times? Rupert Murdoch. Guess who? The corporate media that pushed the wars in Iraq, that pushed the election of Tony Blair. So much of the corporate media are in a hock with the corporations, with the powerful, with the 1%, and they control and captured the political class. Now that's similar to what's happening here in Ireland, because of the media have been completely captured by the corporates, and much the same as members of these newspapers who were also captured by the corporates as well, because the political editor is Hugh O'Connell. Now, Hugh O'Connell is the ex-political correspondent, I think editor with the Irish Independent, has moved on to the Sunday Times Ireland, and is married to a chief advisor for Patrick O'Donovan. He's the minister responsible for the Office of Public Works, Fine Gael. So need me go much further than this if you can make up your own mind. Of course, no names were mentioned, but we know through a select group of people in the intelligence services in Ireland, of 5 or 6 people, a handful of people is remarked upon. And of course, the Sunday Times Ireland have become part of this select group. Now, let's see, they mentioned the name Cobalt. They didn't mention any names of who it was. So let them back up their evidence with who it was, and let's get the information out there. But apparently there was one meeting that took place between this Russian diplomat stroke that they claim is a spy that was expelled a number of years ago. And Russian embassy, I think, currently have about 5 diplomats in Ireland. When you look at the British embassy, where they have, I think, 25 diplomats, and their ambassador is the ex-permanent representative to NATO, Paul Johnson. So let's see where the narrative is being pushed by the Sunday Times Ireland. And of course, there was no mention of the British intelligence services involvement with the Irish politicians. That won't be mentioned, of course, because it doesn't suit the narrative. So let them come forward with their evidence around this and let them clarify what information they have. Because it strikes to me of McCarthyism, Reds under the bed, 007, Austin Powers probably, more like, in terms of this story to push the narrative out there. And it's interesting because he never reported on Paschal Donohoe and his contacts with Israel around the blocking of the Occupied Territories Bill, which has been sitting on the fence in Ireland for the last number of years. And of course the Irish political establishment and government aren't willing to push this forward because of a conversation that he had with with the Israeli Foreign Ministry. Now, he has denied this, but there was emails that were leaked, over 1 million emails were leaked, and this was reported in numerous media platforms all over Europe. But Paschal, is he going to come clean? Let's wait and see if Paschal comes clean on this. Of course, this wasn't a newsworthy story. The newsworthy story was this person that went by the name of Cobalt. So let them come clean on who it is if somebody's getting paid by some other sort of agency, but apparently they said in their bank accounts there was no transfers of cash, and it was just some form of a honey trap. So maybe the perfumer affair. Let's see how this develops. It has the smattering of made up stuff. Sure, we'll wait and see what transpires. I'm sure it's going to be a lot of people talking about it over the next number of days, but it's a front page story in Ireland. Of course, it's a big distraction from the big issues in Irish society, the economic issues, the children on scoliosis, spina bifida treatments, the complete con job that the budget was in terms of the huge transfer of wealth towards the rich again in society, and a distraction from the immigration chaos and all the other economic and social crises that affect the Irish political establishment. So let's ratchet up the narrative, let's ratchet up the propaganda, and let's go up for the Reds under the bed narrative again and try and make up or fabricate something about this as well. But let's see what transpires and let's see what information they come out with, because it seems to be in Ireland anybody that speaks out against what's going on is smeared as something, which they're not. And that's the funny thing when they start speaking the truth. But of course, it's insidious in nature, because what it tries to do is to try and self-censor people from speaking out and stop people from giving the facts out there as well, and giving an alternative point of view to what's going on based on the needs of ordinary people. And it's ordinary people that always suffer through wars, whether it's the war in Ukraine. And Ireland's, most of all, we know in terms of our long struggle for independence, and that we've stood up for our freedom, our independence, our neutrality, and we should stand strongly on an anti-war platform and look for peace, which is in our constitution, to look for pacific settlements in international disputes. So let me know in the comments what you think of this story that came in from the Sunday Times, and let me know what you think of all this narrative going on. Strikes to me of sort of an Austin Powers thing, and I find it fascinating to think that when the intelligence service have this information, it's leaked to a newspaper, and they become part of the select group that know the information without releasing names or details. So let the person come clean who it is, and get the information out there to people so people can make up their own minds to what is really going on, instead of pushing one side of the narrative. But of course we know the Sunday Times, who owns it. We know all these papers, they're all completely captured by the corporate powers, and much the same in Ireland with the broadcasting outlets as well, who are huge recipients of government's cash, our cash, to push their narrative all the time and try and silence anybody who has an alternative point of view, and anybody who stands up for, like myself, stands up for peace, stands up on an anti-war platform and wants to get the truth out to people, to what's really going on in society, and stand up for the needs of ordinary people. So thanks a lot for the support. Please press subscribe to my YouTube channel. Take care. Slán.